Great light. The alarm has barely gone quiet and already the day is asking questions of me. My feet haven't even touched the floor yet, and I can feel the weight of everything undecided, pressing gently against my chest. This morning I don't come to you with a list of things I've already figured out. I come with an open hand and an open page, because today is unwritten, and I don't yet know which way it wants to turn. There's a particular kind of quiet that happens right before the world gets loud, before the phone buzzes, before the coffee finishes, before the first email lands. I want to live inside that quiet for just a moment longer, Divine, because it's here in this small sliver of stillness that I remember I am not meant to walk today alone. So we pause. Whoever is listening to these words this morning, wherever you are, still under the blankets or already dressed and staring at a to-do list that feels too long, let's pause together. Let's let the first light of this day fall on us like something sacred, because it is. Sacred presence. I don't always know what I'm doing. I say that honestly without shame, because I think you already know it too. Some mornings I wake up with a plan, and by 9 o'clock the plan has fallen apart. Some mornings I don't even have a plan, just a low hum of worry about all the things I'm supposed to decide and don't feel ready to. Today might be one of those mornings for someone listening. Maybe it's you. Maybe there's a decision waiting on your desk that you've been avoiding. A conversation you don't know how to start. A fork in the road that nobody else can see, but you feel it in your stomach every time you think about it. If that's you, I want you to know that you're not the only one asking, which way do I go? This morning. Creator, before I even try to answer that question for myself, I want to simply sit here in your presence a little longer. Not rushing towards solutions, not demanding a map, just breathing, just being seen, just letting the morning light say what it always says without words, that a new day has been given, and it hasn't been wasted yet. Let this be a real pause, not a performance of stillness. Let it be the kind of quiet where I stop pretending I have it all together, and instead let you see the parts of me that are unsure, still half asleep, and a little afraid of getting things wrong. There's something honest about the body before the mind catches up to it. The way I reach for my phone out of habit, before I've even decided what I need today. The way my shoulders are already a little tense before I've read a single message. Higher power, meet me in that honest, unguarded moment, before I've had the chance to arrange myself into someone who looks like they know what they're doing. I think of the window in my room right now, how the light outside doesn't rush. It arrives slowly, spreading itself across the wall a little more with every passing minute. Patient in a way I rarely am. Let me borrow some of that patience this morning. Let me trust that direction, like daylight doesn't have to arrive all at once to be real. So here I am. Not fully awake, not fully certain, but present. As that, I think, is enough of a beginning for this kind of prayer. A heart willing to ask, even before it has the words fully formed for what it's asking. Holy Spirit of all things, I want to lay something down before I go any further into this day. I'm carrying a lot of shoulds this morning, things I should have decided already, plans I should be further along on, choices other people seem to make so easily that I still agonize over. I want to set all of that down at your feet, because I don't think I'm meant to carry it into breakfast, let alone into the whole day ahead. I lay down the fear of choosing wrong. It follows me sometimes from the moment I wake. The fear that if I turn left instead of right, take this job instead of that one, say yes instead of no, everything will unravel. That fear has kept me up some nights, replaying choices I haven't even made yet. I don't want to carry it into this morning's light. I lay down the comparison that creeps in before I've even brushed my teeth. The quiet, exhausting habit of measuring my unclear path against someone else's path that looks so obviously right from the outside. Divine, you know their path isn't as simple as it looks, and mine isn't as lost as it feels. Help me set that comparison down. I lay down the pressure to have it all figured out by breakfast. Some mornings I want the whole plan handed to me. Every step from now until bedtime clearly labeled, guaranteed to work. But that's not how you tend to lead, is it? You tend to give enough light for the next step, not the whole staircase. So today I lay down my demand for the whole staircase. I lay down the noise, the notifications already stacking up, the opinions of people I haven't even spoken to yet today, the imagined conversations I'm having in my head before the real ones have even started. Quiet all of that, Source. Let this morning be simpler than my mind is trying to make it. For anyone praying with me right now who is carrying something heavier than confusion about a schedule, maybe a bigger decision, a fork in life itself, a move, a relationship, a job, a diagnosis, a goodbye, I ask that they feel some of that weight lift too, even if just for these next few minutes. Let this be a real setting down, not just words said into the air. I don't want to walk into today gripping my burden so tightly that I have no hands left open to receive your guidance. So here in this ordinary bedroom or kitchen or car, wherever this prayer finds me, I open my hands. I let go of what I was carrying. I ask you to hold it instead, at least until I'm steady enough to pick back up only what's actually mine to carry. I lay down the habit of rehearsing worst-case outcomes before I've even made a choice. My mind likes to run ahead of me, playing out every version of how a decision might go wrong, until I've exhausted myself, worrying about a future that hasn't happened and might never happen at all. Quiet that rehearsal, Creator. Let me live in today's actual questions instead of tomorrow's imagined disasters. I lay down the old belief that asking for help means I've failed at figuring things out on my own. I don't think that's true, but some mornings it feels true anyway, and it keeps me from asking you, or anyone, for the guidance I actually need. Let me set that belief down too, and let asking become an act of trust instead of an admission of weakness. I lay down whatever guilt I'm carrying over decisions I've already made that I now wish I'd made differently. That guilt likes to attach itself to today's choices, whispering that I'll get it wrong again because I got it wrong before. Divine, separate my past from my present. Let today be judged on its own, not weighed down by yesterday's missteps. I lay down the tiredness that comes from carrying indecision for too long. There's a particular exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep. It's the fatigue of circling the same unmade choice night after night, morning after morning, never quite landing anywhere. Great Light, I am tired of that circling. Give me rest from it, even before I've reached the decision itself. Great Light, now that my hands are a little more open, I want to ask you plainly for what I actually need this morning. Not a guarantee, but guidance. Not the whole answer, but the next right step. Show me in the ordinary texture of this day which way you'd have me go. Grant me clarity where there is confusion. There's a version of today where I spend hours going back and forth in my own head, weighing the same 3 options I weighed yesterday and the day before, getting no closer to peace about any of them. I don't want that today. Cut through the noise, Divine. Help me see one clear next step, even if I can't see the whole path beyond it. Grant me courage where there is hesitation. Sometimes the guidance is already whispering in me. I already sort of know what I should do, who I should call, what I should say, and the only thing standing between me and that next step is fear. Give me the courage to move even before I feel fully ready, because I suspect readiness comes more from moving than from waiting. Grant me discernment where there is pressure. There are voices this morning, some external, some just in my own head, telling me to decide quickly, to decide loudly, to decide the way someone else wants me to decide. Help me tell the difference between your quiet guidance and the noise of urgency that isn't actually mine to obey. Let me trust the small nudges as much as the big signs. I think I've spent too much time waiting for burning bushes and skywriting when you've probably been speaking in the small stuff all along. The gut feeling I keep dismissing. The friend's comment that keeps echoing. The door that quietly opened while I was busy looking at a different one. Let me be willing to take one step without seeing the entire road. I confess, sacred presence, that I like certainty. I like knowing the ending before I commit to the beginning. But you rarely work that way with me, do you? You tend to ask for a single faithful step, and then you meet me with the next bit of light only after I've taken it. Guide my decisions today, the small ones and the large ones. Guide the tone I take in that email I've been dreading to write. Guide the words I choose in the conversation I keep rehearsing in my head. Guide the yes or no I owe someone by the end of the day. Guide even the quieter choices. How I spend the next free hour, whether I rest or push, whether I speak up or stay silent a little longer. Fill me with a peace that isn't dependent on having everything figured out. I've noticed that peace and certainty aren't actually the same thing, though I keep confusing them. Give me peace even in the not knowing. Let me walk out that door today without all the answers and still feel steady. Because I'm not walking alone. For the one listening who is standing at a genuine crossroads this morning, a career decision, a relationship they're not sure how to move forward or end, a move to a new city, a diagnosis that's changed all their plans. Divine, be specific with them. Meet their particular fork in the road with particular clarity. Let them feel, even faintly, which way your hand is gently pointing. For the one who has to make a hard call today that will disappoint someone they love, give them wisdom in how they say it, and peace afterward that they said it honestly. For the one who has been putting off a decision for months out of fear, let today be the day some of that fear finally loosens its grip, even if the whole decision doesn't get made all at once. For the one who feels like they took a wrong turn already, years ago, or just yesterday, remind them that you are not a divine who only guides the people who've never gotten lost. You meet people exactly where the wrong turn led them, and you make a way forward from there too. There is no rerouting too complicated for you. Let me not confuse guidance with control. I don't need to know everything you're doing behind the scenes of my life. I just need to trust that you're doing something. Even in the ordinary Tuesday morning of it all, even in the traffic and the meetings and the laundry that still needs folding. Guide me through the small things and trust me with the larger unfolding. Teach me to recognize your voice among all the others clamoring for my attention. I hear so many opinions in a single day. What I should want, who I should be, how fast I should be moving compared to everyone else my age. Let your voice be the one I learn to recognize first, quiet and steady beneath all the rest, like a familiar footstep in a crowded hallway. Give me patience with the parts of the path I can't see yet. I want to trust that not knowing the whole plan doesn't mean there isn't one. Some of the best things that ever happened in my life, I couldn't have planned or predicted from where I was standing at the time. Let that be true again for whatever's ahead of me today, and this week and further out than I can see from here. Strengthen me for the decisions that feel too big for one morning. Some choices don't get made in a single prayer. They get made slowly, over weeks, through many mornings like this one. If today is just one small piece of a larger decision I'm still working through, let it be a faithful piece. Let me not need to solve everything before breakfast, and for the ones who woke up this morning with no big decision at all, just the quiet heck of not knowing what they're even supposed to be doing with their life in a bigger sense, great light, meet them there too. Purpose doesn't always arrive as a lightning bolt. Sometimes it arrives as one faithful morning at a time, until one day they look back and see the shape of a path they didn't fully see while they were walking it. Let me hold my plans loosely enough that I can hear you redirecting me if I need it, but firmly enough that I'm not paralyzed, waiting forever for a sign before I'll move at all. Help me find that balance, not gripping my own plans so tightly there's no room for your leading, and not so passive that I never actually walk anywhere. Whatever this day holds that I cannot yet see, the phone call I don't expect, the opportunity that shows up sideways, the closed door that turns out to be mercy in disguise, prepare me for it now before it happens. Let me meet the unexpected with steadiness instead of panic. Because I trust that you already know what's coming, even while it's still hidden from me. Sacred presence, help me tell the difference between a door that's closed and a door I'm simply too afraid to knock on. I don't want to mistake my own hesitation for your redirection, calling it guidance when really, it's just fear wearing a more spiritual-sounding name. Give me the honesty to notice when I'm hiding behind the word waiting instead of actually stepping forward. At the same time, help me tell the difference between genuine patience and stubbornness dressed up as faith. There may be a door I keep pushing against out of pride, refusing to accept that it isn't opening, no matter how long I stand there. Give me the humility to let go of a path that was never meant to be mine, even if I've already invested so much in it. Guide me in the ordinary conversations today, not just the dramatic decisions. The small talk with a co-worker that could turn into something meaningful if I actually listen. The moment I could choose kindness over being right. The pause I could take before responding to something that stings, instead of reacting the way I usually do. Let your guidance shape these small moments as much as the large ones. Give me wisdom for the people I lead or care for today, whether that's children, a team at work, an aging parent, or simply a friend who leans on me more than they realize. Let me not confuse having answers with having wisdom. Sometimes the wisest thing I can offer someone is simply my full attention, without rushing to fix what isn't mine to fix. Help me recognize when the guidance I need isn't a new direction at all, but simply the strength to keep walking the direction I'm already on. Not every uncertain morning means I'm on the wrong path. Sometimes it just means the path is hard, and I'm tired, and I need endurance more than I need a map. Give me the wisdom to know which one today calls for the one listening who is grieving a decision that was made for them rather than by them, a job lost, a relationship ended by someone else, a diagnosis that rewrote their plans without asking. Great light, meet their particular kind of directionless morning. Their path didn't fork by choice. It was forced open. Guide them gently through ground they didn't choose to stand on. For the student unsure which direction their studies or career should take, for the parent wondering if they're raising their children the right way, for the caregiver stretched between duties with no clear order of priority, give each of them a next step sized exactly for their morning, not the whole decade of decisions still ahead of them. Let me remember that guidance often looks like peace before it looks like clarity. I keep waiting for the moment when everything makes sense, when I can see the whole outline of what I'm supposed to do. But maybe the peace I already feel about a choice is itself a form of guidance, quietly confirming something my mind hasn't fully caught up to yet. Holy Spirit of all things, steady my hands for whatever this day requires of them. Writing, building, comforting, deciding, letting go, holding on. Whatever the actual physical shape of today's guidance turns out to be, let my hands be ready and willing to do it, even the parts that feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Let me not rush past the people you place in front of me today while I'm busy chasing my own sense of direction. Sometimes the clearest guidance you give me doesn't come as an inner feeling at all. It comes through another person, a stranger's comment, a friend's question, a child's simple observation that cuts straight through the complexity I've been building in my head. Keep me humble enough to receive guidance from unexpected places. And if today holds no major decision at all, if it's simply an ordinary stretch of errands and emails and small tasks, let me still walk it with attentiveness, trusting that faithfulness in the small, undramatic hours is its own kind of guidance being followed. Not every day needs a crossroads to matter. Let me treat this one as sacred, regardless of how ordinary it looks on the surface. Divine, help me hold space today for the guidance that doesn't arrive on my preferred schedule. There are questions I've been asking you for weeks, maybe longer, that still don't have clear answers. I don't fully understand the delay, and I won't pretend that not knowing is easy, but let me keep showing up with the question anyway, morning after morning, trusting that a delayed answer is not the same thing as a denied one. Give me the wisdom to seek counsel from the right people today, and the humility to actually listen when I get it. I don't want to only ask for advice from people who I already know will agree with me. Let me be brave enough to hear something that challenges my current thinking, if that's what real guidance requires this morning, and where I've already been given clear direction, where I already know exactly what I need to do today, and have simply been delaying it. Give me the courage to finally act. Sometimes the prayer I need isn't for new guidance at all, but for the strength to follow the guidance I've already received. Source, before I step fully into this day, I want to pause and give thanks, because gratitude has a way of settling my spirit before I even leave the room. Thank you for this morning. Thank you that I woke up at all, with breath still in me and a heartbeat that didn't ask my permission to keep going through the night. Thank you for the guidance I've already received in my life, even the kind I didn't recognize until much later. The friend who said the right thing at the right time, the door that closed and saved me from a path that wasn't mine, the strange feeling in my gut that turned out to be right all along. I thank you for a track record I can look back on, even when today feels uncertain. Thank you for not requiring me to have perfect faith before you'll lead me. I've doubted before. I've second-guessed decisions I now know were exactly right, and still somehow you kept walking with me through the doubting. That says more about your patience than it does about my faithfulness, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you for the people in my life who help me see more clearly than I can on my own. The ones who ask good questions instead of giving quick answers. The ones who remind me of who I am when I've forgotten. If I have someone like that in my life, let me remember to thank them too, and not just take their steadiness for granted. I trust, Divine, that this prayer is heard, not because I feel some dramatic sign in this moment, but because I've chosen, on ordinary mornings like this one, to believe it anyway. Faith on a quiet Tuesday looks different than faith in a crisis, and I want to practice it here, in the small and unremarkable moments, so it's there for me in the larger ones too. I trust that even the parts of today I can't yet see are not outside your care. The meeting that might get moved. The conversation I'm not expecting. The moment where I'll need wisdom faster than I can ask for it. I trust that you're already present in all of it, ahead of me. The way morning light reaches a room before I've even opened my eyes. Thank you for the mercy of a fresh day. Yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's wrong turns, yesterday's moments where I ignored the nudge and did it my own way anyway. Thank you that they don't have to define today. Thank you that guidance is something you offer new, morning after morning, and not something I only get one chance to accept. Thank you for the ones listening to this prayer right now, who needed to hear that they're not walking their uncertain path alone. Whether they came here anxious about one big decision or the general fog of not knowing what's next, let them leave this moment lighter than they arrived, carrying trust instead of just questions. I trust you with the parts of my path I still can't make sense of, the delay that felt like punishment but might have been protection, the closed door that still stings a little, the long way around that I didn't choose, but somehow ended up shaping me for the better. I don't need to understand all of it today. I just need to trust the one who does, and I give thanks in advance, sacred presence, for the guidance that's still on its way to me, the wisdom I'll need for a conversation 2 weeks from now that I don't even know is coming yet, the clarity that will arrive right when I actually need it and not a moment before. Thank you for meeting me on time, even when your timing doesn't match mine. Thank you for the strange gift of hindsight, the way a confusing season eventually reveals its shape once I've walked far enough through it. I don't have that clarity yet about what I'm facing today, but I trust it will come, the same way it always has. Even if I have to wait longer than I'd like for it to arrive. Thank you, too, for the ordinary mercies wrapped up in an ordinary morning, a working body to carry me through the day, a roof that kept me warm through the night, enough breath to whisper this prayer at all. I don't want to move past these so quickly in my hurry toward bigger requests. They are gifts, too, and I receive them with thanks. Thank you for every quiet morning like this one that came before today. The ones where I paused just long enough to remember I wasn't navigating life entirely on my own instinct. Those mornings added up to something. They shaped a kind of trust in me that I now get to bring into this new, unwritten day. Trust that has been tested before and held. I trust that if I misstep today, even with the best intentions, you're not finished guiding me because of it. Course correction is still guidance. A wrong turn noticed and adjusted is still a kind of faithfulness. And I thank you that grace makes room for that kind of imperfect, honest walking forward. So, great light, send me out from this quiet morning moment into the noise of the day with a steady heart. Let me walk out that door not knowing everything, but trusting enough to take the next step anyway. Let today's guidance be enough for today, and let tomorrow's guidance wait for tomorrow. Exactly the way it's supposed to. May you go now, but whoever prayed this with me, with a lighter step than you woke up with. May the fog around your decision thin even just a little by the time this day is done. May you hear the quiet nudges over the loud demands, and may you have the courage to follow them. Even when they lead somewhere unfamiliar, may your uncertain path become one faithful morning at a time, a path you can look back on and recognize as exactly where you needed to walk. May you never mistake not knowing everything for not being guided at all. May the decisions waiting for you today meet a heart that is steadier than it was an hour ago. May the fear that likes to whisper, "You'll choose wrong," grow quieter with every step you take in faith. And may you find by the end of this day that the light you needed showed up exactly when your foot needed somewhere to land. Go now in peace, in quiet courage and in trust, not because the whole map has been revealed, but because the next step has. That is enough for this morning. That is enough to begin, and so it is.